So thank you very much for speaking with ANI. My first question to you is of course about this important visit. This would be the Indian Prime Minister's first visit in 40 years. How significant is that, especially when India and Warsaw, New Delhi and Warsaw celebrating 70 years of diplomatic relationship?
Yes. Good morning, namaste. Thank you very much for having me. Welcome to this beautiful residence of the Polish ambassador here in New Delhi. Yes, in fact, we are really happy about the visit of Indian Prime Minister to Poland. This is first visit of the Indian Prime Minister to our country since 1979. So if you ask me about the importance, I would say that's very important, very significant, bahut zaruri hai. So we're really looking forward to welcoming Prime Minister Modi in Poland. As you rightly said, we are celebrating the 70th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. And in fact, we will be talking a lot about the common past that we had and relationship that we had in the past, last 70 years, taking stock of these experiences and collaboration, but we will be also looking to the future and wanting to find new avenues of cooperation.
So in terms of focus areas, what can we expect during the visit? Will there be any major outcomes, especially in the sector of defense or any other sector that you can tell us?
I think that there will be three priority areas. Takaniki, technology, of course it will be important. Both countries are looking at upgrading its economies, modernizing, upscaling. We have transformed our economy for the last 35 years. Been developing very quickly, very fast, one of the fastest growing economy in European Union. We just heard the last quarter's data, and we are the fastest growing economy of the European Union. And if you come to Poland, Prime Minister Modi, if he comes to Poland, he will see that we talk a lot about Vikas and Pragati in Poland also. So Takaniki first, then we of course will talk about security, so Suraksha will also be high on the agenda given the situation in Europe and global tension that we are observing. That's also something that Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Tusk will be discussing. And of course, as you said, Raksha is always defense sector, so Raksha, we will be discussing these topics as well. Let's see what will be announced.
So Prime Minister Modi's visit comes at a time when there is already a war going on between the two countries. We saw the Prime Minister visited Russia recently, and now he will be visiting Poland and Ukraine. How significant is that according to you?
I think it's very significant, as I said, we are really happy that Prime Minister Modi decided to visit Poland, but we are also glad that he will be combining this visit to Poland with a visit to Ukraine, our neighbor, that is defending its borders against unlawful aggression. And this visit of Prime Minister Modi in this important time will send a powerful signal to the global community that India stands out for peace, for dialogue, for negotiations, and also for a UN Charter and sovereignty and territorial integrity. And of course, at the moment, there are diplomatic efforts to end this conflict, to end the war, but at the moment, as our foreign minister also says, negotiations are taking place at the battlefield. So let's see what the outcome will be, but we hope for a just and peaceful resolution of the war. And honestly, from our perspective, this war could end very quickly. It's just Russian forces have to withdraw. The decision has to be taken at Kremlin and withdraw.
So, Prime Minister Modi, India has been calling for dialogue and diplomacy. We have seen that during the meeting with Russian President Putin, he said that solution cannot be found on battlefield. How important do you see India playing a role when, in contributing to peace?
I think India has an important role to play. India is a global rising power. It has gaining a lot of importance. It's a global leader. We witnessed G20 presidency here, so it has It has a lot of political importance. So from this perspective, India playing a role is important. Being a most populous democracy, India is the voice of the world.
So when we talk about the trade relationship between India and Poland, there has been a steady rise on the Indian investment. We have also seen a lot of Polish companies in India. If you can talk to us more about the trade relationship and how can we enhance it, and how significant this sector will feature during the visit.
I think economic cooperation will be very important. I myself was here during the last visit of Polish Prime Minister to India. It was in fact Prime Minister Tusk who visited India 2010. I was here. I was at that time responsible for economic cooperation. So trade and investment are very close to my heart, naturally. And I think this is very important in bringing India and Poland together, and economic cooperation plays an important role here. We see a lot of Indian investors in Poland. It's very significant. I also see a significant increase in interest in investing in Poland. Just this year, I think 2 big investments have been announced, one in lithium-ion batteries and the other one in optic fibers. And we also, traditionally we were a destination for Indian companies, BPOs and IT companies, so they are still there. They are actually informing me that they want to increase their presence, so we are very happy that they are successful and happy about that. And we also hear, and something that has also changed last couple of years, is increasing interest in Indian economy and investing in India that we see from Polish companies. Almost weekly we have meetings with Polish entrepreneurs, business houses that are interested and in coming here, and they already have, some of them have really significant presence here.
So India and Poland also share historical ties, like the one that we have seen during the World War II, when Maharajas of Jamnagar and Kolhapur provided refugees to thousands of Polish refugees. How significant is that, and will there be any program related to this during the visit?
This is also very significant. We have a number of stories, of history chapters in our history of showing how close people to people contacts were. And the story of good Maharaja Jam Saheb, we call him good Maharaja in Poland, is one of them. And I think this is also, we will see this story being highlighted by Prime Minister Modi, as he himself comes from Gujarat, his home state. And he mentioned quite recently in one of the speeches in Jamnagar, he mentioned this story. Actually, he also visited son of Jam Saheb's sons, and mentioned, he underlined that this Jam Saheb planted seeds for Indo-Polish cooperation, and in Poland there is a square named Good Maharaja. There is also a school named after him. There is an exchange happening between Rajkot and Warsaw, and students every year try to come and visit each other to keep this story alive. And there are also people who actually remember Good Maharaja, still alive in Poland, so hopefully Prime Minister Modi will also be able to witness this part.
So when it comes to the people-to-people ties, we have a good chunk of Indian diaspora in Poland. We have also seen how the evacuation was done during the Operation Ganga when this war broke out. Will this would be something that will be featuring out during the meeting, and also will the Prime Minister be addressing the Indian diaspora then?
As far as I understand, yes, there is a plan for a meeting. Always Indian diaspora in Poland is looking forward to meeting Prime Minister, and some of them have been living in Poland for 40 plus years, so they're really well established, well connected, and their contribution to the Polish economy is appreciated.
So how supportive is Poland of India's permanent seat at UNSC, and how do you think that it's very important to have India as a country on the table?
This is something that is, I mean, right when Prime Minister Modi will visit Poland, I'm sure that what we'll be discussing bilateral issues, but we'll also talking about global issues, and UN Security Council reform is something that is also high on our agenda, and we do agree that India being the biggest, the most populous country in the world, it's quite surprising that it's not part of the UN Security Council. It's not a permanent member of this body. So we do agree that we need to reform UN Security Council, and hopefully the voices of countries that were not so well represented will be heard after the reform.
So just last question. Prime Minister would be also going to Ukraine after Poland. How significant, according to you, is that, since he visited Russia a few, recently, and what important message would India give by visiting Ukraine, according to you?
I mean, this is for the Ukrainian ambassador to comment, but of course, from the Polish perspective, of my perspective, this is also a very significant and powerful signal. So. We are all waiting for some important announcements and welcome India's role in bridging the gaps and resolving the conflict.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.